The movie takes us deep into the Mariana Trench, where a company named Tian Industries has built several underwater drilling stations. One of them is called Kepler 22, which is connected to another substation named Roebuck 641. Around 316 crew members work here, mostly doing research and drilling. Among them is a mechanical engineer named Nora. Being so deep underwater, the crew has no real sense of day or night. One day, while Nora is brushing her teeth, she notices a small spider crawling nearby. The strange sight unsettles her, and at the same time, the station's power begins to flicker. Curious and a bit nervous, she checks around and finds water dripping from the ceiling. Suddenly, the pressure builds up to a dangerous level, and the walls burst, flooding the area with massive force. Unfortunately, this section of the station is where many of the crew members are asleep. Nora runs, pounding on doors and trying to warn everyone, but the flooding is spreading fast. She and one of her crewmates, Rodrigo, manage to seal off a tunnel door to stop the water. The sudden force of the pressure knocks both of them back, and they pass out. When Nora regains consciousness, she tries contacting the control room, but there's no response. The explosion and flooding have already destroyed nearly 70% of the station. Seeing the devastation, Nora realizes that they need to reach the ports quickly to survive. She and Rodrigo start making their way through the station. Along the way, Nora hears someone calling for help. They follow the voice and find a man trapped under some debris. They clear the rubble and rescue him. His name is Paul. The three of them continue toward the port room, but due to limited space, they have to crawl under the wreckage. On their way, they also come across a few dead bodies, which shakes them, but they keep moving forward. When they finally reach the port room, they find the captain still there, sitting and waiting. Nora explains to him that some parts of the station are missing. The captain tells them that the door to the room hadn't opened properly. He asks Rodrigo to check the status of the submarine, while Nora hacks the door system to open it. Once the door is open, she informs the captain that around 70% of the station has been destroyed. He doesn't respond immediately, and Nora anxiously tells him everything she knows. The captain calms her down and begins assessing the situation. After checking, he realizes there's no submarine available. Nora then heads to the control room, where the family of scientists working at the station greets her warmly. Soon, the captain arrives and asks about the condition of the calling towers. Nora explains that the upper floors have collapsed, making the calling towers unusable. The thermal coats and other essential systems are unstable, leaving the station in a critical state. Nora explains that the thermal cores store a massive amount of energy, and if they become unstable, they could explode at any moment. Without the calling towers, the cores would start melting, and within about 30 minutes, a huge explosion could destroy everything, leaving no chance of survival. The captain realizes the gravity of the situation and points out that they have no ports, no submarine, and all communications are down. Their only option is to reach the substation called Ruber. Nora warns him that Ruber is far away, and the connecting tunnel is broken. The captain decides they will have to travel on foot. First, they need to stop at the meditation station to refill their oxygen and then follow marked paths to navigate safely. No one at the station seems brave enough to attempt this journey, and Nora wonders why the outside temperature has risen by 10 degrees, a seemingly impossible situation. Suddenly, the station shakes violently, and everyone thinks it's an earthquake. The crew quickly put on their suits to protect themselves. The family of scientists, frightened, asks Nora if anyone has ever attempted such a journey on foot before. Nora admits that no one has. Seeing her nervousness, Rodrigo gains courage and gives his helmet to her. Nora also helps the captain put on his suit since his hand is already injured. Once everyone is suited up, they head toward the cargo lift to exit the station and reach the ocean trench. However, the hatch's pressure control switch is damaged, and the intense pressure begins to affect Rodrigo. As they continue, Rodrigo's helmet cracks under the extreme pressure, and the hatch bursts open. Rodrigo is instantly killed, and his body is torn apart, leaving everyone, especially Nora, shocked and terrified. Struggling to stay calm, Nora jumps into the cargo lift, and the others quickly follow, removing their helmets inside. They begin moving toward the ocean trench, shaken and grieving Rodrigo's death. While navigating, they pick up a faint survival signal from one of the station's pods. Hoping someone might still be alive, Polo and Smith dive back into the ocean to investigate the pod. Around it, they find a strange, sticky substance, and inside is a man's melted body, twisted in a horrifying way. As they get closer, a mysterious sea creature drags the body and attacks Polo, but he manages to kill it and bring it back into the lift. The creature is unlike anything anyone has ever seen before. It becomes clear that their digging may have disturbed a thermal pocket, and the creature could have been affected by its heat. Suddenly, the cargo lift's solar system shorts out, accompanied by a loud, terrifying noise. The lift's doors jam, and then they see Kepler station above them begin to explode. The lift's cables snap, and it starts plummeting toward the ocean floor. Before hitting the water, they quickly put their helmets back on to handle the intense pressure and leap out of the lift just in time, landing safely in the trench near the meditation station. Before reaching the meditation station, falling debris from Kepler station injures them, and in the water, they notice strange shapes, figures that seem like humans standing underwater. Despite the fear, everyone manages to reach the meditation tunnel safely and removes their helmets. Paul points out that something is moving outside, which startles the group, but the captain reassures them that the sounds are just falling debris. Using rovers, they navigate the tunnel toward the midpoint station. Because some sections are flooded, they have to move carefully on foot. Strange noises continue from outside. When part of the tunnel is blocked, Nora dives through the water-filled section and guides the others to follow her to the other side. Once there, Paul notices something unusual in the water, a strange, half-human, half-monster creature. Suddenly, it grabs him from the other side, tearing his suit, and he succumbs to the pressure, dying instantly. The others, horrified, run forward. The midpoint station is in the same disastrous state as Kepler station. The captain tries to send a message, but all communications are down. Seeing a broken drill, they are shocked. How could a 6,000-ton drill break like that? One of the scientists remarks that it seems the ocean itself is taking revenge for their drilling. They realize they should never have come so deep. Meanwhile, Smith's oxygen filter is failing, and he urges the group to leave him behind. Nora refuses, insisting they all stay together as they continue their dangerous journey deeper into the trench. They remove their helmets and head toward the robot station, their last hope for survival, following the marked paths. Suddenly, the creature appears. Everyone quickly turns off their lights and switches to infrared. The creature grabs Smith and drags him into a cave. The captain rushes in after him and manages to reach Smith, but the creature attacks the captain, pulling him in as well. Nora, still tethered to the captain's line, gets dragged along. The creature then attacks Nora, and the captain fights back to protect her, causing both of them to be pulled upward. The captain realizes that his suit cannot handle the pressure at that depth, so he cuts the tether, sending Nora safely back down. Tragically, as the captain rises, his suit bursts under the pressure, and he dies. Nora falls back into the ocean trench but lands near the Safeport station, which had been destroyed first during the disaster. She activates the station's power, enters safely, and first removes her suit to recover. She sends messages to bring Amy and Smith to the station. Inside, she finds the captain's locker and discovers a heartbreaking message about his daughter, revealing that she had died when she was just 14. Distraught, Nora struggles with her failing oxygen filter. Spotting an available suit, she puts it on and sets off again into the ocean, determined to reach Robert and continue the mission. After moving some distance, Nora spots the family pulling Smith along through the water. She quickly calms them and tells them about the captain's death. Together, they pull Smith toward the robot station, talking to each other as they go. When they reach the station, Smith's condition is still critical, but they rush him inside and begin navigating the ramps to safety. Suddenly, they encounter thousands of the mysterious creatures hanging above the ramp, seemingly asleep. Turning off their suit lights, they carefully make their way through the creatures. But one creature attacks Nora. She quickly tells the family to take Smith inside while she handles it. Grabbing a flare, she fires it from inside the creature's stomach, killing it and escaping. The disturbance wakes the other creatures. Then, the Queen, a massive creature larger than the entire station, appears before her. The smaller creatures cling to its outer body. The Queen attacks and destroys the ramp, causing a huge explosion. The blast throws Nora near the station door, but the family pulls her inside and seals the door. Nora begins to suffocate as her suit's oxygen runs out, and her helmet won't open. Amy breaks the helmet to rescue her. Together, the three of them prepare to continue their escape, relying on their suits and determination to survive the chaos around them. They remove their suits and start moving toward the ports. When they reach the control room, the Queen appears, attacking the station. Without wasting any time, the three of them rush to the port room. Nora finds that only one of the three ports is functional. She first helps Smith get through safely, then guides Amy to the second port and fixes the third herself, instructing her to follow. When Amy hesitates, Nora forces her into the port and ensures she escapes safely. They then realize that the Queen has sent her creatures to block their escape from the other two ports. Nora, determined to save Amy and Smith, powers up the station's thermal cores to full strength. Without the calling towers, the cores explode within seconds, destroying the Queen and all her creatures. Nora, Amy, and Smith survive and rise to the surface. The company overseeing the station prevents them from speaking about the disaster and destroys all recordings of the event. However, they announce that the station will be rebuilt with advanced upgrades and safety measures. The story ends here, with our heroes safe but the station's future uncertain. If you enjoyed this explanation, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to catch more movie recaps on the channel.